Hello Flickering Myth family and welcome to our channel. My name is EJ and in this video we are going to be diving into a brand new MCU movie. We are going to talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. For years, Marvel used to have a checklist of things we would kind of make fun of them for. We have this bit of revisionist history that we were like, oh, the MCU was always loved. No, there was a time period where we made fun of them for the tonal issues, like undercutting serious moments with bad jokes. With sometimes their villain issues, their CGI issues. A lot of the times there's the same kind of repetitive story beats, a lot of the same character motivations. It all sounds like everyone's speaking with the same voice. That is a lot of this movie. There's a lot of the classic MCU issues in this movie. Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, to me, is one of the weakest ones I've seen in quite some time. And I know we just came from Phase 4, which you guys all like to shit on, but to be honest, this is just as bad, if not. I think what hurts this one is the expectations. I thought Quantumania was going to be this big event, this almost Avengers-level movie, and the director's Peyton, who does not possess the vernacular for this type of movie. He was outclassed by the material given to him. This movie needed a bigger director, a bigger concept, just an over-the-top vibe. There's just something so small scale about this movie at times. There's an explosive element. His name's Jonathan Majors, who really owns this movie, who eats it up, who is the true highlight. Though I will say Michelle Pfeiffer is also one of my favorite parts of this movie as well. But there's just something about this just kept me from going, wow, like there's so much spectacle they're trying to throw at you. I mean, the whole end of this movie looks way too much like the end of Aquaman. Remember that weird battle scene? There's a lot of those comparisons there, but just something about this, it felt hollow to me. It felt like I kept going back to, wow, these jokes are horrible. Wow, all like Scott, Hank, Janet, all of them, Hope, all of them have the same voice. They all sound like they're written by the same person, which they are, so all the characters just don't get to have different personalities. It all kind of blends into each other. Again, thankfully, Jonathan Majors as Kang really gets to add some spice to it, add some fun to it, but this really reminded me of like 5 years ago MCU when I was just like, this is what we're offering, and we're back to it again. And I really hope this is not the sign of Phase 5, because we're in trouble if it's going to be this rough. The story of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania is fairly simple. We have the Hank Pym family, basically, Scott, Hope, Janet, and Hank all get sucked into the quantum realm, where they run into Kang, who has basically made the quantum realm his, and him and Janet have a lot of history because Janet was obviously stuck here for years. That's kind of how her character got introduced, so she has a background with Kang. We get a lot of great moments of Michelle Pfeiffer and Jonathan Majors acting off each other. The best. Like, these two actors elevated their material. Sadly, not everyone else was allowed that, because what the hell was Hope doing in this movie? Evangeline Lilly does absolutely nothing of note in here. Maybe one time at the end I was like, oh, there we are, that's why this movie's called Ant-Man and the Wasp, because you're here. And then it's Paul Rudd's Scott Lang. I don't like this character. I find him to be grating. It's like hard to deal with him as a lead character. He's usually okay in the ensemble films. I like a little Ant-Man moment in an Avengers movie, but when it's just him for 2 hours, it's a bit rough at times, and that's a personal preference of just not relating to this character. But yeah, all of them are in there, and oh yeah, Cassie Lang is here. Oh yeah, a new addition to the Pym family. Scott's daughter is also in the quantum realm with them. She's been recast as Kathryn Newton. Yeah, she's here. She seems like she's going to be a bigger part going forward, but in this movie, I was underwhelmed by these characters. If your name was not Kang, you were severely underwritten or really not given much to do. Now, Jonathan Majors is Kang. He has a whole, society here. He has a game plan. He has things to do, and I like that. I really liked the Kang moments here. You can see where the future is going to go, but living in the present, living with this movie, I hated how Kang was treated at the end of this film. This movie just lacked a big oomph factor. It's also the fact that it looks not that great. We'll talk about the visuals and some of my other issues in the next section, but overall, this movie just had a visual style that I thought was ugly. The script felt like it was written by AI. The jokes were bad. The jokes were bad. There was like a Baskin-Robbins Paul Rudd that pops up in this trippy moment that I'm like, Oh, ha, that's funny. Yeah, that's what a lot of the jokes are like. Oh, you guys made a joke. Good job. Yeah, I can't with the humor of this. I can't with this movie. I have to think about this even more. Ooh. What really hurt this movie is the overall visuals. I know this is also going to be a personal preference thing, but things shot in the volume look fake to me. I'm sorry. I know it's like the new LED CG technology. Green screens are gone. But my eyes, it just hurts. Like, it just looks fake to me. I'm taken out of a lot of moments when I'm like, wow, it literally looks like actors standing on a green screen. And I know that's weird because so many movies are green screen now, but I need it to be a bit more seamless. There's moments where this movie does look pretty, like when they're kind of going through realms and we're kind of seeing the layers, those moments really shine to me. But once characters like sat down in an environment, it all felt fake. It all felt so I want to be able to touch a set in a Marvel movie, and I haven't felt that in quite some time. Even if it was real, it seems like it was painted over with CG at one point. There's just a lot of like a lack of soul to these movies, and it's getting worse and worse and worse. I had that issue with Thor: Love and Thunder, sometimes with Black Panther, and now with this movie. It's the artificial vibe that they're giving off. I want these to feel more intense, more personal. Maybe there was moments here at the end where there's a fight between Kang and Ant-Man that's like more of a physical fight. I felt it. I felt the weight. I felt the drama. I felt the intensity, especially when Jonathan Majors was about to step on that boy's face. Great moments there. But overall, I just feel like these movies are heartless and they're just trying to set up things and where each movie's like building towards something. And I know that's kind of the appeal of the MCU, but I'm kind of bored by the formula. The formula is back for sure. It's like, well, let's wrap this movie up so we can set up the next movie, and then let's set up the next TV show, and let's keep doing that and going and forward. And oh my god, maybe I'm exhausted by the MCU, but I was enjoying some of the things. There was moments where there was glimmers of hope, but those hope is the hope's gone now. I think Kang is going to be a good path going forward. I don't know if the rest of these movies can keep up with how good he's going to be. All right, everyone, that is it for my review of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania. It suffers from a lot of issues. Bad dialogue, weird character motivations, some ugly CGI. Truly, one person in this movie, I won't spoil it, is the ugliest creature / character design I've seen since Doomsday, BVS style. Horrible, horrible, horrible. There's just a lack of soul and heart to this movie to really bring me in. But what did you all think of this? What did you think of this review? What do you think of this movie? Share your feelings down in the comments below. Give me a thumbs up if you did enjoy, and make sure you subscribe to Flickering Myth. All right, everyone, let's talk about Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania right down below.